Good day, everybody. All right, so today I'm going to show you my run-in shelter. I will let you know the plans for it and how it actually came out to be. So you've seen my catio, my tack room, my wash area as it is now, and I have told you about my future plans. I have showed you the hay storage area, and now I shall show you the very last part that I haven't showed you, which is the run-in shelter. Okay. So the run-in shelter is 40 feet long, and it was supposed to be 12 feet wide in the center, but with me not having experience with knowing what to tell contractors, I said 12 feet. So when they said okay, they were thinking 12 feet from edge to edge, when I really meant 12 feet in the center. But lesson learned and experience gained at a very expensive cost. So the original plan for the run-in shelter was to have 4 12-foot gates in the center so that I could have 3 stalls that I just close the horses in if I were to need to contain them, vet appointment, equine dentist, so on and so forth. And mainly for my everyday use would be for feeding, so that they would all have their separate little area for eating. But it didn't work out because, like I said earlier, I'm not a contractor, and what you draw on paper isn't very accurate to what actually needs to be measured out when you're building a building. So because the center, in the actual center of the building, it's only 11 feet 9 inches. We ended up needing to get 10-foot gates and then make pony walls so the gate would fit. Originally, we just thought we would custom make some wood gates, but after calculating all of the wood that we would need and then how much the wood would weigh, we were worried about sagging on the fence or the gate in the long run after years of use. And I mean, wood deteriorates and then you would eventually have to redo it or, you know, keep maintaining. So we ended up just going with the metal gates, which is fine because it matches everything else. And then the gentleman, the contractor or the carpenter, which I don't know the proper word to use, but anyway, he built these beautiful pony walls, and all he ended up doing was getting the 6x6 post, which we had left over from the building. He put it where the gate closes, and then he just used 6x6s, and he attached them to the existing 6x6 that was already on the barn. And then he just made this little wall with it. And then he put 2 pieces of 3 1/4 inch plywood together. He screwed them together and made one big piece. And then he smoothed out the corners and just kind of gave it a round top and the sides so there wasn't any sharp edges. And then I just coated it with the sealant to help protect the wood, and I believe they came out really, really pretty. I really like them. Hi, Dream. How are you? How are you, you muddy, muddy girl? So we got rain last night, and we've had rain all morning. So my horses have taken advantage and given themselves mud baths. You know, people pay a lot of money for those things. So anyway, and then the other issue that we ran into, and we just had to make, what is the word? Yeah, I just had to change my plans and go with what I could go with. Because I wanted all the gates on one side, I didn't want to stagger the gates. We decided to go with just putting 3 gates in here and only having 2 stalls in the actual run-in shelter. So I only got 2 stalls to contain the horses when feeding, or if for whatever reason I needed to contain them. I don't know why the horses do that. They were just out in the woods. But no, Fabio has to come into the run-in shelter to go to the bathroom, which really irritates me because I don't want it to be wet. But anyway, so we'll wait for Fabio to be done. Meowth is still here in the hay area, but Leia has decided that she wanted to go back over to the old shop. So she found her way back over there. which just makes me a little nervous because I wish she would have stayed over here, but she didn't. We will see what happens in the future. But anyway, so I'm able to pin up 2 of the horses in here when I'm feeding them, and then I just leave the whichever one. They kind of choose. They change on daily basis who gets to stay in a stall and who gets to stay out to eat. But anyway, I'm still able to separate them while they're eating, which has been really, really nice. Normally Catalina finishes her food first, and then after she finishes her food, she goes and eats the remainder of Fabio's food because poor Fabio is the slowest eater. And then of course nobody picks on Dream because she's the boss mare, and when she says move, everybody just kind of moves out of her way. But it's been nice to have them separated when eating, because then Fabio, he really gets to finish all of his food and gets to eat and enjoy every bit of his food, which has been really nice. The other thing that was going to be that I changed after the construction of it, I was gonna have little windows in each of the little bays, but I ended up changing my mind on that because the airflow in the winter, which is when we had the barn put up, it blows pretty heavy in here, and we will have to figure out something for that. But anyway, so because there was so much wind blowing through here, I decided not to put any windows up there because I didn't want more wind. I actually want it to be, you know, a place where they can come in and get away from the weather. So I went ahead and decided not to put in windows along there. We do have lights in here. We have 2 LED lights hanging in the rafters, and then I put in 2 fans, and these poor fans are brand new, and look how dusty they are, and they haven't even been up for a month yet. So we do have 2 fans in here for them so that when it's hot I can turn it on. Today's the temperature is actually pretty good. Like I said, we got some rains that help cool things down. So I don't have the fans on today, but normally I do have them running. What we would really like to find is like a motion sensor to where when the horses are in here, the fans are on, and then when they leave, they turn off. I don't even know if they make anything like that. If any of you know if they make a sensor for fans, a motion sensor for like running shelters and stuff for horses, I'd really be interested in finding out, you know, if you know of anything, the name of it and so on and so forth, because we would really like to put some in there so I don't have to worry about leaving it running and they're not in there. So it's a waste of electricity. But anyway, so that is the running shelter. That is the area for the horses to come in and get out of the weather and get away from the flies and so on and so forth. I really do like the way it came out. Like I said, there was definitely things that we changed along the way because of things I didn't know and things that I learned later. But yeah, that's it. That's my barn. Come on. Hold on. Okay, I bring yours around. Back. Go on. Good boy. Z, get back. Stay back. Back. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. So it's dark, and I didn't turn on the lights in the run-in shelter, so it looked a little dark in there. It's not as dark as it appeared on camera, but this is kind of how it goes. I just kind of let them choose. Dream almost always chooses this front stall, and Fabio and Catalina kind of take turns on that back stall. But so I just feed them like this, just like this. And for now, I have Tag in the old hay feeder, which did not work out very well as a hay feeder. I've done a review on it. I might do another review because we're going to transform this into a hay feeder, from a hay feeder, I should say, into Tag's platform. So we are going to figure out how to make this Tag's platform so that he has a warm, dry place to always go, be comfortable, but he can still be out in the elements if he needs to be. But I can also close it for him to eat and stay out of the horse's food, because as cute as this little devil is, he eats the horse food so fast that he like literally finishes his meal in like 10 seconds, and the horses take, you know, a good 5 to 7 minutes. So he eats super fast. He's like a vacuum. So we are going to transform that hay feeder into a platform for Tag. We're just not really sure how we're going to do it yet, or even where its permanent spot is going to be. But anyway, so there's where Tag goes. I give him his food and tie him up for now, and then he has to sit in there until the horses are done. But that is how everything is working in my barn currently, and I absolutely am in love with my barn. It did take me a minute to fall in love with my barn. It took the finishing touches, but the finishing touches are done. And look how dirty Fabio is. He's such a mess. And slowly but surely, we're figuring out our new system in our new area. And Leia came back, y'all. I am so happy. She came back over here today. And I'm just so glad that she's back over here, Leia. Thank you for coming back over here. So Leia and Meowth are back in the barn. But anyway, you guys, that is my barn from end to end. And a little tip on how I feed the horses. Well, not tip, but a little show on what it looks like when I feed the horses, so that they all get to enjoy their food without being rushed by another to hurry up and get it done, or you don't get to finish your food. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. There will be more to come. And I will talk to you again really soon. Bye!